and sisters, the Lord is with you.
And also with you.
We continue listening to God speak to us from the Gospel in the tradition of Matthew.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, "You are the salt of the earth. But if salt loses its taste, with what can it be seasoned? It is no longer good for anything but to be thrown out and trampled upon." Jesus said, "You are the light of the world. A city on a mountain cannot be hidden, nor does one light a lamp and then put it under a bushel basket. It is set instead on a lampstand, where it gives light to everything in the house. Just so your light must shine before others, so they may see your good deeds and glorify God in heaven." This is the gospel, the good news of our salvation.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
By the words of the gospel, may our sins be blotted out.
Amen.
So we gather, and as always, we thank God we can be here, to come together, to hear God's word, and to be united in prayer. Last week, we had the privilege of having our bishop visit us, and it was a wonderful 2 days. If you didn't meet him, he was very humble. And what struck us, a number of the people in the parish and all of the brothers, is that he didn't want to celebrate the Mass because he didn't want to do anything different than what we're used to, which is a really nice change for us. And last week's gospel, we started to talk about a very important part of the Gospel of Matthew. Last week's gospel was the Beatitudes, where Jesus gives us his formula for life. And I like to refer to that as, and I'm not being sacrilegious, but when we go to a doctor and the doctor gives us a prescription, and Dr. Jesus gives us the prescription last week for living. Blessed are the poor in spirit, blessed are the meek, blessed are the humble, blessed are the peacemakers. And he's given us the manner in which to live. Now, the Gospel of Matthew was written primarily for a Jewish community. It's not the first Gospel written, it's the second one. The first Gospel in order is Matthew, but the first Gospel written is Mark, which is the second Gospel in the New Testament. And what we get from this particular idea of speaking to a Jewish community is that Moses received the law on the mountainside. And from what we read in the Jewish scriptures, Moses came down the mountain carrying the tablets. The tablets were literally written in stone. Okay? Jesus is on the mountainside sitting and talking to his followers. And he gives you and me not 8 new commandments, but he gives you and me 8 new guides to how to live. And then what we hear tonight is continuing that particular Sermon on the Mount. And we'll be hearing that up until the last Sunday in February, which is the Sunday before Ash Wednesday, which is on March 1st. Already, Ash Wednesday. And tonight we hear 2 things. And every time I read this think about what Jesus tells us in this particular part of the Sermon on the Mount, I say to myself, the wisdom of this man, this simple carpenter who had no formal education, from what we know. And he uses two examples that span the ages. Two examples. Nothing profound, nothing theologically to think about, but he gives us two things, salt and light. I mean, this is amazing. Huh? No matter where you live in the world, be it South Florida, be it Bangladesh, be it the corona of Australia, everybody knows what these two things are. Salt and light. And Jesus says to you and me, you are the salt. You are the light. And the most important thing we heard in the gospel today is at the very end. Let your light shine before others, so they may see and glorify God in heaven. This is the whole purpose of why we exist. This is the whole purpose of what it means to be called a Christian. To glorify God in every way possible. Salt. I remember, again, muchos años pasados, growing up in Brooklyn for Christmas Eve, we always were served bacalao. Dry fish that was salty. It's a delicacy. My grandmother told us that when she came over on the boat for, I think it took them 4 weeks in the early 1900s, that she brought the fish with her. And it was preserved. It didn't go bad. That's why you and I, as salt of the earth, what we're meant to do is to preserve God's light within us, and us in God's light. The light of the world. This is what Jesus is. And if you and I are called to walk in those footsteps of the simple carpenter of Nazareth, we have to be light, and we have to be salt. And while you do that, pray for me as I pray for you. And may God bless us and keep us. May God's face shine upon us and give us peace, now and always.
Amen.